MLB,
that doesn't make sense.
The problem I think with MLB is that in the 70s and 80s, and there's a great documentary, I don't know where you can find it, it's called Harvard Park. And what the documentary was about, guys like Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberry, guys like that grew up in South Central LA that had an impact on Major League Baseball in the 80s, in the early 90s. Guys that came out of these leagues that were so dope and so good, they came straight out of high school. This was before the NBA did the out of high school thing. The Major League Baseball was bringing these guys out of high school. They went to the minor leagues for about maybe 6 months or so, and they brought them right back up. Doc Gooden was another one.
Ricky Henderson. Bunch of people know
guys like that, where you pull raw talent, and these guys could play. I think once the baseball strike happened, a lot of things and a lot of pieces moved, and MLB got away from the inner city and from the black and brown communities in America, because they opened up the fridge and they saw a different shelf that was much better of appetizing and appeasing than what they had on the top shelf. And so now they went to the quote unquote third world countries like Colombia, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, places like that. I mean, not Puerto Rico, but I'm sorry, like Haiti and Central and South America, because they said, hey, these guys are so dirt poor. If we gave them $150,000, it's like having $15 million for these cats here in America.
And we use cheap marketing to bring them
exactly.
up.
We don't even got to give them gloves. We just give them milk jugs.
Shout out to Aroldis Chapman. He can throw 100 miles an hour.
Well, look at Yasiel Puig.
Yeah.
You know, what he had to go through just to get to this country, right? What I'm saying is this. They raided the fridge. You had you talked about Aroldis Chapman, but you had a lot of guys. You had Pedro Martinez, Ramon Martinez.
You're saying they reached for the back and grabbed the tall thing in the back and knocked over everything
else. The hell with everything else. And they made so much money off of these guys that were foreigners that can barely speak English, that can barely understand the culture, and all this stuff is new to them, so they know they can control them. Amazing. And so when you have an ability to control somebody, then they become docile and dependent upon what you're doing. See, these brothers out here in America, we like, look, man, we once one brother figures it out, we kind of follow the ripple effect. Ask LeBron James. So now, because
sports,
exactly. But when you look at LeBron, and I did this to get sidetracked real quick. When you look at LeBron James, what did he do? He started informing brothers on what to do life after basketball while playing basketball. So now you can be a business person. You can be into the tech world. That's why you have Kevin Durant that's in the tech world. You got Klay Thompson going to China and getting businesses, going in China and things of that nature.
Davis,
everybody, a lot of those guys, because a lot of those younger guys were involved with because LeBron set the precedent, right? So the same thing can happen in Major League Baseball. If one brother gets out here and says, okay, you know what? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and he's a top-notch dude, the other ones are going to follow and say, well, shit, if he could do that, well, hell, I'm going to do this same, I'm going to do something like this, too.
They got to push him, though. Adam Hayward had, for a minute, had things going, but they don't really market black players.
And that's because, and they have that's why there's less than 7% black players and black American players in Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball, even though they've done some significant work with, the programs they have with the RBI program, is still not enough, because you got to have more intent on getting younger kids involved, because baseball is a very expensive sport. If you can't afford it, see, basketball is easy, because why? All you got to do is find somebody with a ball and go to the park, and they got a hoop somewhere, even if it has a net on it or not. Football is very expensive. Even if you don't got that,
you just dribble and move the ball around your body.
Put a milk crate up. Yeah. So with basketball, with baseball, with hockey, with football, those are all expensive sports. Yep. So you got to start building. MLB didn't give a damn. I'm going to be honest. MLB has done a poor and terrible job when it comes to marketing their American black stars. They don't give a damn. They don't care, because when you have these guys from these foreign nations, and you have the Mike Trouts of the world, which are absolutely box office market value, when you have guys like Clayton Kershaw at the time of his prime, when you have these other guys like Aaron Judge, when you have, thank God for Mookie Betts and guys like that. But they, when in Boston, the Red Sox had the Soul Patrol in the outfield, and they were trying to market that, but mainly Mookie Betts. You had Coco Crisp, you had different guys that started marketing, but I'm glad that Mookie has really taken on what he's been given as far as and taking it to another level. That's why I have a tremendous amount of respect for guys like Mookie Betts. CeCe Sabathia is another guy that took aim at what he was doing, but he also made sure that he never forgot his community back in Vallejo. When you and even talking to him, just being a community-minded individual. When I talked to him the night when the Yankees played the Angels, and I just really wanted to get in his mind as far as not just talk baseball, but I want to talk like, what are you doing with baseball? Like, how are you impacting your community, and what are you doing to bridge that gap? Because we all could talk about, God rest his soul, the late great Nipsey Hussle and what he, set forth as far as the platform and the plan that he had.
But now who picks it up?
But exactly, and so that's what I asked.
The marathon continues.
Exactly, and that's what I asked. CeCe Sabathia, because I know he always goes to Vallejo. He always, is heavily in the Bay Area. I mean, him and E40 are very tight. They used to play baseball together. So you can see those connections, and you can see, I'm glad guys like E40 are sitting at baseball games, because we need that type of presence, because Major League Baseball needs to see not only they need to be players that look like us on the field, but we got fans that look like us that are watching this game and paying good money to see this product. So you need to respect it from those two angles as well. So I don't know what the hell Major League Baseball is going to do, but they need to get on their job and get off their ass. I'll tell you that much.
And we've always had black stars in baseball. Was old boy from the Phillies, Ryan
Howard?
Ryan Howard.
McCutchen, when he was good, he didn't.
Kutch, man, my God!
But he never really got marketed like that, and he was one of the best players, like from the jump.
That's why I always love Gary.
Remember Andre Dawson? Mm-hmm. Get Chef.
Adam Jones.
I still love. I have such a tremendous amount of respect for Adam Jones, man. I have to tell y'all about that later, but I have such a respect for Adam Jones and what he stands for. But you had a lot of guys. I mean, think about it. In the 90s, watching the Braves with Brian Jordan and David Justice and Deion Sanders, I mean, you had two of those three guys that played two sports. Brian Jordan played for the St. Louis. At that time, he played for the Atlanta Falcons, and at that time, it was the St. Louis Cardinals football team at that time. And then you had Deion Sanders obviously playing for the Falcons and playing for the Braves, and you had David Justice, who was always an all-star. So, I mean, you had black players were marketed much better in the 90s. I mean, look at the commercials with Deion Sanders, Ken Griffey Jr., Bo Jackson. I mean, these guys were marketeer stars. Before the strike happened, these guys were marketing stars. I mean, I remember watching commercials with Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson. Bo knows, whether it's football, baseball, Bo knows how to play sports. Bo knows selling. Bo knows football. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Bo knows hockey. And you got Wayne Gretzky. Bo don't know this. You know what I mean? But it was just, Bo could do whatever, but it was mainly baseball and football. And same thing with Deion Sanders. You had the Nike commercial. You can go on YouTube right now and find a couple of those commercials back in the day. It's just the way that Ken Griffey Jr., Hall of Famer, got how he was marketed. I mean, everybody wanted to see Griff.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody wanted to see.
Sure.
You, as a kid, if you had a chance to get tickets to watch when Griff was coming to town, you was watching Griffey because you knew something was going.
I just remember even growing up as a kid, seeing him on like Nickelodeon doing the specials, all that stuff. Like,
they killed off Barry Bonds, unfortunately, but.
Well, and say what they want, but Barry's still the home run king.
Oh, definitely. He's
Hall
still
of Famer before he even came to the Giants. He was a Hall of Famer.
And Barry deserves to get. And I think tables are slightly turning now with Barry, because I think Barry may be the one to get in. But I think because Barry has such a bad relationship with the media, and the media can either love you or hate you.
Yep.
I mean, that's the power of the pen. They say the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yep.
So, the media didn't really care for Barry Bonds, especially in the latter part, when he was in San Francisco, because then that's when all the allegations came about. And the man never tested positive. There's not one positive test that's been put up about him taking steroids or any type of PEDs or anything like that. All the rest of these dudes have either admitted it, got busted for
A-Rod.
it. All of them.
Clemens, never mind.
All of you.
Every last one.
Yep.
But Barry Bonds, not one positive test.
That's why
not one.
That's why I'm glad Kyler Murray chose football over baseball, because I think they wouldn't have marketed him right either.
And that's probably why he chose football.
And
because
the A's. It's the Oakland A's. Sorry, Sean.
But I
I know you're out there. Sorry, Sean Thomas.
From a marketing standpoint, I think from a money standpoint, it's the most lucrative. Other than the NBA, it's probably one of the most lucrative sports to play in.
In terms of money, yeah.
Soccer
contract.
Well, international soccer, not American soccer. But I'm saying as far as in the States, I think baseball and the NBA are probably the two most marked because they have guaranteed contracts. There's no, the monies can be. You
and the MLBs,
you will get paid in baseball.
Yeah, and you will get paid
even if you're bad.
And you'll get paid
Kevin
in basketball.
Brown.
You'll get paid in basketball. Ask KCP. But like I said, I mean, and these are guaranteed
Shout
contracts.
out to Jamal Crawford.
There's no reason why that dude should not be in the league right now.
Why don't the Lakers sign him? I would pay whatever luxury tax fine I would have to pay. Or the Sixers.
Or the Bucks.
I'll take him in Phoenix. I'll take him in Dallas.
Dallas would
Jason Terry.
Actually, Dallas would not be a bad destination for it.
Let him play Jason Terry.
With Luka and that squad.
Honestly, man, I've never heard one bad thing said about Jamal Crawford.
Let me tell you something.
Like
even people who have crossed him, who he's gotten crossed over by him, they're like, whatever.
I've met Jamal Crawford on a few occasions. It's one of the most classy, intelligent, very, very open, thoughtful, respectful guys I have ever met. Humble. As far as when it comes to athleticism. The guy drinks, and sleeps basketball. When he goes back home, he gives so much back home in Seattle and Tacoma and that area up back there when he does the Pro-Am. Yep. But even beyond the Pro-Am, like he does a lot of things for the kids up there. And I mean, I know it doesn't get highly publicized, but I'm going to speak on it because I believe giving your flowers when you can smell them. But I think Jamal Crawford is an incredible individual. He's an incredible basketball player. The man dropped 50 the last time we saw him play on a 94-foot court.
He's a Hall of Fame basketball player.
Come on, man.
I mean, he's a
contributions to basketball. He's a Hall of Famer. Lou Williams too.
My man Scoop B. Shout out to my man Scoop B. That it was a catalyst for helping get Carmelo Anthony back into the league, and he's still working on
Bravo Melo.
Jamal Crawford. But I think the biggest thing people are looking at with Jamal Crawford is his age. Yeah. If Jamal Crawford was 33, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I think they're looking at a 39-year-old man. I'm like, you can't look at the age. Every case is different.
But he's been taking care of his...
still in the league.
Hello.
He's been taking care of his body.
By the way.
No disrespect to Vince Carter, the legend, the GOAT.
But he's still producing.
4 different decades. How does that math work?
But Crawford's been taking care of his body since way before it was topical like it is now.
Again, the man drinks, and sleeps basketball.
Yeah.
There's no excuse why he's not in the NBA.
Like Steven Jackson said, they don't want to bring in a guy, an older dude, who will wax your younger players and kill their confidence. But he can also teach them how to score.
And see, there's that what you just said is a perception. You can look at it one or two ways. You can look at it like, okay, this dude's going to come in here and kick our young players' asses, or he's going to teach our young players about how to be not just basketball players, but how to be great men off the floor.
And that's why I also get a lot of these veterans.
That's the changing culture right now in the NBA, because it's like it's a different mindset of like Kobe, Jordan. I want to play 82. So I only have 82 opportunities to entertain. I only have 82 opportunities to show I'm the greatest. Like that's all I get. I want all those opportunities.
Low management.
Versus now, it's a business. It's a $1 million enterprise. It's these are millionaires. We need to protect them. We need to do whatever we can to enable them to have the most success. Period. Regardless of the competition, this is our number one pick. We're going to give him every chance to succeed. Not this is our number one pick. We're going to let him ride the bench behind Eddie Jones. Sure. And if he works out, he works out. If not, whatever.
You said something, if I may, about load management.
Embiid got hurt again, just FYI.
Oh, yeah, he got to have surgery. He's out indefinitely.
So much for load management. And Ben Simmons was not a rookie. I don't care what he stole an award that wasn't his. No, he stole an award.
How did he steal it? He didn't play one game. He didn't play in the preseason.
If there's a number one pick in the draft and you're it, and then the next year they have another draft and that dude's the number one pick, how are you a rookie?
You didn't play
because you didn't play.
But contractually, that's a totally different.
Blake Griffin wanted
you tried to play, but then you got hurt.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Now listen.
It don't work in the NFL like that.
So it's cool. So it's cool to red shirt. So that's not considered a red shirt?
No, because it ain't college.
No. I'm asking. You talk about
it's cool to red shirt, but it's not cool to red shirt.
But does that stop? Wait. When you red shirt, does that stop you from being a sophomore from a
You don't lose a year,
perspective.
But it only works in college.
No, I'm asking. Does that stop you from being a sophomore, even though you're considered a freshman on the field, but you're considered a sophomore in college? Does that stop you from? Do you automatically rotate going back to being a freshman? No, you keep moving, right? Okay, so what I'm saying is this: with Ben Simmons, now Ben Simmons played one game, whether that be preseason or not, I'll be right there with you. I said, no, that man played one game and got